boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hello, Frenzynauts.
Hello.
Here we are. Episode 59.
Wow.
I can't believe we've made it this far. I say that every
I
time.
swear you every week.
Every
you say
week,
the
I
same
know. I
thing.
can't help
I can't
myself.
believe we got to this episode.
Well,
I love that tradition, though. You never know when it's going to stop. So.
I know. Yeah, that's true. You never know. Let's start off right off the bat by saying a very warm welcome to Shel and JUSTIN RASCH. Wait, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, our honor,
Yeah,
and
it's good to
very,
be
very cool to see how far you guys have come in such a long. It's been about a year exactly, I think, right?
Yeah, and in
It
fact,
was last week's episode. Yep.
exactly. Wow. Not only that, but Justin, you were on our 9th episode. Wow. And this is our 59th episode. So the numbers align. This is a very cool thing.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
So Adam, Bobby, Oz, how you guys doing?
Not too bad.
Doing good.
Oh, see, it went back to normal this week.
See?
All right.
Yeah.
Excited.
Well, yeah, me too. We've got a lot of questions for you too, and we're excited to talk to you about how you do things and how things are going. First, shall we look to see who's in the chat? Because I know a lot of folks are excited about this tonight. Yeah. Oz, shall we run through it?
Brother. Let's go ahead. I think so. I'm going to go quick. We've got John, figuratively speaking, as soon as it wants to pull up. JMax77, the beautiful dawn. Dawning of a decade is here. We got My Buddy's Customs. He's in the house. Oh, don't think I forgot. We've got Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Oh, is that what he's going by now?
Yeah.
We have no. I told him I was going to start calling him by his name and not his name. So he started changing it on there. Thanos Copter is with us as well. We got Ed hanging out, joining us. Duchess of Darkness is here.
Hello.
Just released another new video tonight, folks. If you have not checked that out, please do.
And she's doing videos every day this month, right? That's so cool.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it is. That is a ton of work, ton of time uploading. All right, we've got Ronald Embry here hanging out with us. Eric Perryman has joined the crowd. Everybody's jumping in on the frenzy here. And Hylian Dread is with us. And actually, I think I've got us just about all caught up. Oh, nope. Well, we got Broman here as well tonight.
Broman.
Coming up soon, he'll be on an episode of Masterversal Toy Hunter.
That's right. We got a lot of creatives in our audience tonight. This is perfect. So
we do.
We have Shel and Justin for about an hour tonight. They are very busy. Do you want to tell folks why you're so busy this evening?
We have a deadline coming up tomorrow.
Oh.
Friday's the delivery for the 4th episode in the series that we're doing right now for Mattel. Yes. You guys have seen the first 3, and we've been grinding out this whole year making content for Masterverse, for MOTU, basically, Origins. Yeah. And it's been really, really exciting to finally tell a story over that was one of our dreams. I think the last time I talked to you was like, we wanted to tell a story that was multiple episodes and kind of prove that we could do that as a studio. And then to have it manifest this year was huge for me and Shelly. We got to write, we got to direct, we got to animate, we got to create everything together, put a small team of helpful artists and have some fun over the whole year. And this is it. This is really the end of the year for us with this vision. So we're really, really excited. Well, there is this arc that we've been doing. This is
okay.
Top secret for later this year.
Ooh, I love that. Well, we're all huge fans, and so we're not gonna keep you so you can get back to work because we love what you do. So we're going to jump right into some photos that the two of you shared and have a look through. There's a lot that's happened for you and your family this past year, at least since we talked last. And in fact, when we requested, Justin, that you send us a Thanksgiving wish video, I believe that you shot that video like on just as you were beginning to work on your new property.
Yeah, we had just moved here. We left Los Angeles and basically dove into a full-time studio work, just with me and Shelly working on our own business instead of for other studios, which Shelly has been a therapist for many years, private therapist, and then have always worked for video game studios or film studios, and to dive in and just do our own stuff was really a big leap.
Yeah, definitely a big milestone for us.
Yeah, that's for those of us that rely on our regular jobs, that it can be terrifying to just dive straight into a life of creativity, especially if you've been working for others and now you can begin to sort of do your own thing in a lot of ways. It can be terrifying. I imagine you probably felt some of that.
Yeah, it was, it felt universal, like just like this happening here a year exactly later, right? Like the universe was screaming at us, hey, take the leap.
Do this
Take
thing.
the leap. We kept getting contacted by more and more companies asking us to do artwork. Everything was pointing to us leaving Los Angeles, Shel finding this place that we moved to. I think the universe was pretty clear in saying it was time. It was scary, but it was also kind of like, it's kind of obvious here. Like,
It felt right.
Yeah.
It never felt scary. It always felt just scary, right? So like exciting.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's nice. That's nice to hear, because it can be scary, but as long as everything's lining up for you, you're taking the right path.
Yeah.
For those of us that are fans of your work, that's become pretty darn apparent that this is the right thing for you all and your family.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is, because I think so much of it is like, we love what we do. We love working together. We love MOTU. Like there's like a big, giant, like universal rewards of things coming together and making it even more powerful. And I think it's incredibly rewarding, as hard as it's been this year too. Like we've been working 7 days a week.
There's that. Yeah.
All year. And having fun. We're definitely having fun, but it's work. It's hard work to get done what we want to do. And we're trying to, in year 2, discover the balance of having all the yummy work and fun stuff, but also having weekends off.
Yeah. There you go.
Taking weekends off. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
important. Yeah. Well, we need those. We need the rest too. And that's one thing that can be a misconception sometimes, is that the creative act is work. It's not for a lot of folks that are driven to do it and do it for their careers. It's the romance of art making takes a back seat and it becomes the work. But the work within the work is the reward. So I just want to start off here with this particular image, because I think it represents a really great, at least for us Masters of the Universe fans and our relationship with Stunt Puppet Pictures, I feel like this is a great starting point. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
You go ahead. Sorry.
We're looking at a bookend for the movie we made, Dad Ventures, which was the first Mattel project that they came to us for. And we were really excited about showing kids playing with the toys and then animating the toys as if they were in the imagination. And in this particular one, the kid wasn't interested at first, and the dad was so excited about his toys that finally the kid got involved.
It's pretty much a biography.
Yeah.
Is kind of like teaching kids how to play again. It felt like so many kids, and I know that's just your grumpy old dude, you know, commentary or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I played with younger kids today, you'd be surprised how much they look at me like I'm crazy, like just in like how I'm coming up with scenarios and stories. And like, you know, we used to get down on the floor and just play, pure imagination. And so much is kind of these days, I don't, you know, as a grumpy old guy, I make video games, I know about them, but it's all there. It's scripted. It's like now it's just your interaction with a scripted event or something like that. So when I have little cousins and nephews and nieces come over, whatever, playing with them was really something, it seemed kind of foreign in so many ways. And so it's, So, you know, but then it was so natural once they kind of saw how it worked, and it was really magical to ignite that part of a kid. And so it was really part of the script that we wrote and pitched to that's my dog back there crying because we're not paying enough attention to him. But to Mattel was basically kind of passing the sword. That's the word they gave to us, right? It's like passing the sword is the idea to our kids. And I'm like, I know all about this because we've had He-Man up on our Christmas tree since the children were born, and our kids are 30 years old now, right? So they're from 30 to 21, but they all know, you know, He-Man. They all know toys. They all know play, and then just kind of seeing children kind of get tempted into the fun and the joy and the imagination of play, like true play, like from an older time, I think, was a big part of, you know, an idea we really wanted to sell. And it was amazing, man, because the internet got it.
Yeah.
Like, so many people responded to that and were like, wow.
That was very exciting.
This is, and you know, even when we wrote it, I think I remember Shelley just in a little bit was like, we don't want to be, what is it, like mean to kids? Your storytelling, but like I don't know.
We don't want to put them down like, oh, kids are always
on the phone or whatever. Like just be kind of jerky about that. But it was still you know, obviously a driving force in the story. We more wanted to share. It's like watching my favorite movies with my children is like such a beautiful moment. And when they share something with me that I don't know from their generation, it feels so special to like watch a movie with your kid. Watch, like, they introduced me to Avatar. I introduced them to He-Man, right?
Yeah.
They introduced me to blah, 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 or like Dragon Ball Z. And then I introduced them to Transformers. Like there's everything that we kind of grew up with. And then the joys of all that kind of shared loves for these properties or toys. So that kind of kicked us off, and honestly our whole relationship with Mattel came from that piece, which now, how many have we made? Like 9 shorts for them since that time, using Masterverse and Origins. So it's obviously been a really great relationship. But one thing we really wanted to do was, like I said, tell a story, because we get so much feedback from the community.
Like someone just said, you know, let's make a movie out of this. Like, let's do longer.
When are we going to make a series?
Yeah, we would love to do that.
Make a series.
To do that.
Oh my God. And we're like, we want to make it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, like we were just talking, was it last week, Bobby, Adam?
Yeah.
Oz? Last week we were talking about what is, or maybe it was the previous week. I think it was last week. We were talking about what do we need to move forward, and we all kind of said like a series of shorts that could be one long story, that ideally might use the toys or refer to the toys in some way. Yeah.
We're enamored with the toys. It's so fun to work with toys. It's so fun to make toys literally come to life.
I mean, wow. Like I think I mentioned some of that too. Like when we played as kids, you know, I took these toys 100% seriously, right? The adventure for life and death, and it was like hardcore, and like to be able to happen to have grown into an animator someday, where I can actually get this opportunity to animate one of my favorite all-time toys into the concepts and the visions and the imagination of when we were little kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a joyous, magical, like soul feeling reward that is. And like, you know, we were talking about it last night. We have our date night on Wednesdays, and we went out and we're like, oh my God, like this, you know, playing in the bathtub with my merman toy and blah, 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 blah. All these things.
Like, we got to do a scene with merman underwater. We just have to do that in stop motion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would that be?
I'm like, you got to see what we got in our head and what we want to show you guys.
We can't wait
with these figures in stop motion, quality stop motion. So, so we are filled to the brim with passion and just excitement to do this. So we just have to figure out how we're going to make it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can tell that in the energy behind your work. You know, you can, when you watch a movie, you can tell you can see what's underneath the surface of the film. That if the director has a passion, or the people behind the movie have a passion for it, you can feel it almost sort of coming off the screen, even though it may not be exactly what you're seeing. And we get that from your shorts for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's
cool.
true. Yeah, it's love. It's a true love for the world, the universe, and then for animation and storytelling on top of it. So I'm really glad that that's coming through to you guys.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here. Is this you two planning a scene, or are you just playing with toys?
Actually,
both.
You know, that's how we choreograph, right?
So we often, what we'll do is we will, thinking from the camera's point of view and the story, we will already have a script, and then we'll get out the characters and we'll shoot an animatic. We'll actually take our phones and we'll shoot the shots we want with the toys, and we'll, you know, say, okay, there's going to be a fight here. We don't know what that'll be. Later, we work that out in live action between the two of us. We work out the choreography together in live action, because the toys, you know, they don't necessarily do the kick flip we want to do, you know, doesn't happen with our fingers as well as it does with our whole body. So right here we're working out the sort of overview of the animatic, like who's going to be where when these things
what
happen.
happens.
This is the Skepisode 1. We call them Skepisodes because they're Skeletor episode 1. Skep 1. And this is after after Skeletor's, you know, he's about to get attacked by the two snake guys there, and King Hiss is directing them to steal
with He-Man's sword back there, and then basically eventually taking his staff at the end of the episode.
I'm gonna remove the slide from just a moment, and I'm gonna go find the pictures that of you all acting these scenes out. There's a couple pictures in there I really want Oz to see. He's gonna get a kick out of it. He's a big fan of the Snake Man. So hold on one moment here.
Yeah. When you're doing that, oh, sorry, go ahead, Oz.
Oh no, I was gonna say I just watched the video the other day. I love when you guys post on your IGs sometimes, like you drop hints of like what you're working on, but you don't see the full concept yet. Like I was showing my son some of your work, and yes, exactly. But Connor and I were actually watching the video of this choreography, like, or not this, but Stolen Part 2. Where, you know, He-Man's rushing the Snake Men, and like as I was showing him everything, I was like, in this video here, and I pulled it up, I was like, this is the guy who films all of this, Connor. And he was like, what's he doing? And I was like, oh, he's acting out what we just watched, and it dawned on me. I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah, you know, when usually there's a lot of approaches when you're making episodes or film or television, and a lot of when you're trying to communicate to another company, usually it's through storyboards, right? So you draw frames which represent certain actions throughout the short, and then what camera angle you're going to be shooting at. So what happens is we found it being way easier to communicate is if we shoot, instead of drawing it, shooting the animatics with the figures, then we go shoot live action down in our barn in the actual choreography of whatever the fights are or the storyline. Then when we cut it all together and we show that to Mattel or whoever the vendor is or the person that's hiring us, they get it so fast. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we understand what you're doing. Because when you just show little handmation figures, they're like, I don't quite know what's happening. You know, like,
but the acting choices are going to be
right.
see who's going to
Yeah.
be where, which is helpful.
They know we can animate it and we're going to make it look cool, but we can't do it with our fingers while holding cameras sometimes. So we have to wait. And then the live action is a really easy way to communicate. And it gives us a real solid timeline on how long the piece is going to be too. So it's become a really efficient way to make changes, get communicating quickly with Mattel or whoever we're working with, and also just show the choreography completely on what we're planning to do.
Because the nature of stop motion doesn't lend itself, especially in the time frames we're working with changes once you've already animated something, because it takes 12 hours to animate a few seconds shot.
Yeah, a shot. Yeah.
So once we get buy-off on these two, the figure animatic and the live action animatic, then they don't get to make changes anymore. So it's really important that the communication's clear at this stage.
Yeah, because then it's like it's just delivering, and then if they, maybe some editing choices or like a simple sound effect, like little things like that at the end that we can change. But by that point, we've gone in production. There's no turning back. Yeah. There's neck and neck bursting through the prison door.
So sometimes if it's not obvious that the bicycle and the club and the person is mech and neck on the ground ripper, then we'll it on the animatics so that the client can see what we're thinking, what that's representing.
Yeah.
It's really fun, guys. It's just another thing when we're, we get to animate, we get to make these sets. And then we get to go down in the freaking barn and pretend we're skeleton He-Man, regularly.
It looks like so much fun.
It's ridiculous, but yes, it's super fun. Yeah.
Adam, a little while ago, you had a question. What was it you were going to ask?
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going over the 3 stolen little episodes today. And so I've seen this in a couple of the other ones too, where you'll augment the figures with like tongue lasher, like he had an animated tongue that looked like more of a claymation. Yeah. Or sometimes I think you've added once articulation to Battle Cat's wrists. Can you talk a little bit about that too?
Yeah. This is kind of interesting for you guys to know too. We typically try to use just the toys outside of tie downs in the feet, what we call tie downs in our business, which is screws. So we can screw through the feet to help balance the toys when they're in weird positions. So, or we put a little hole in their back sometimes so that when they're jumping, we can fly them around frame by frame. But when there's an extreme case, Shel makes something called a stunt puppet.
What we call a
stunt puppet. And that's kind of how we got our business name so many years ago. Is like when we would make films, we would always make 3 puppets. Shel would make 3 puppets of whatever character we had. And we would have the actor puppet.
You need the one who's got a really pretty face for the close-ups. It's not scratched or dirty.
No scratches. Best paint job.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then you need the ones that can just do the regular stuff. But then sometimes you need one that can be like twist around and throw their arm this way, and the puppet's got limitations. It might not be able to do that. So I can take off an arm, put wire in there, put it back together, put clay over the wire, so then Justin can get some range and get the movement he wants out of them.
So for instance, that ankle, Battle Cat's ankle in that situation was like, I just need a little bit of range there, and Shel just put a wire in there for the stunt puppet section, and then usually what happens is I'll animate it through that moment, and then boom, we click back to full toy after that. So the stunt puppet comes in and does a little work here and there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
on average, we really do use the toys the majority of the
We
time.
try to use
Yeah.
the toys as much as possible.
But there's a lot of cool tricks. This is some little back info for you guys. Is like when I would use them, you know, you can't arch the backs, right, of a He-Man toy. They only twist. So what Shel and Aiden would do is they would make me clay that matches the skin tone perfectly for whatever characters. And I could just squish a little clay between their spine and butt, hip. And then I could just attach it and then get a little bit of bend in like an Origins character that I couldn't get. So for a few frames, I can get a little bit more extreme movement in it. And then I pull the clay out and plop it right back down in there. And it's very similar with the arms, right? Like the He-Man arms, we just pop them in and out. And we have like a stunt arm where we shave a little bit of the biceps down.
He's a little
so
too
he can
strong
bend
for all the range
a
of
little
motion.
bit more range.
Yeah.
Sometimes they hit like 90 and it's like, oh my God, I can't bend these arms. Right? So it's the same, I could pop on a stunt quadricep that lets me bend the knee a little bit more. And I could pop on the arm and put on the stunt bicep.
It really is fun with the MOTU figures that you can take the arms.
The
and bend
modular.
up. I love that
is
about
really
them.
cool.
And the head. It just makes it so fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's so cool that you can do that with contemporary figures, and they can be like anyone with the drive to want to create stop motion films at home can do that with the figures if they're willing to alter a few things too, but they may not even have to. And
they don't even have to.
Yeah, a lot of our friends in the chat, they've already done some of that stuff on their YouTube channels, and it's so cool to see.
So cool.
Yeah, and then the Masterverse is just awesome as far as mobility goes. Like,
you
know, those we barely had to touch. I just had to put screws in the feet for the most part, and they were so mobile. I was like, these are heavenly to animate, you know? And I personally love the look of Origins, and even some of those limitations are kind of fun in how it comes out looking like, but they were both, you know, both really, really joyous to work with. So awesome.
My buddy's Customs Bud. He's one that's tried some of the stop motion stuff on his own, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
That's so
that's
cool.
fantastic. Yeah. You know, I've been contacted by a lot of people that went out and bought a Skeletor and a He-Man after seeing our stuff and tried stop motion with them. And I was like,
oh, that's so cool.
Awesome. How cool. How cool.
So let's talk a little bit. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to remove this and then go back to a few things. Tell us a little bit about how you all got started in this industry. I'm really interested in hearing about that.
Go ahead.
Well, Justin been animating for a very long time, and he wanted to try stop motion. He wanted to get his hands in it because he'd been doing CG animation for a long time. He does 2D CG stop motion, but in video games, it's CG. And so he'd been doing a lot of that. So he wanted to start, look how cute he is. So he wanted to start, you know, really getting his hands into sculpting and playing with his work again.
Yeah.
And I had no art background, but we always had a family art night where we would just get together and do art. So Justin started making stop motion products, and he said, could you he was making a sculpt for a puppet, but he said, could you just make some bricks? Because I want to make a brick building. And so I just got out some clay. I'm talking to the kids or whatever and started rolling clay, and I started making bricks. And I'm like, well, I don't like that building you picked out. Let's pick out a better box for that. And we can get some different sides. Let's make a couple buildings. And what if we use this for a fire hydrant? And what if we use this for a little, and how about if we, and I got so hooked that now I basically have the very grown-up job of making dioramas for a living.
We got some images of that. We're gonna get in deep with all that stuff. So excited to have you here, Shel, to talk about that.
Thank you.
You know, it honestly started because I got tired of all my artwork being on the computer.
Oh yeah.
I really was like, oh my God, I just want to have my hands dirty again. And I went to school for practical effects, and CG was like kind of one of those things where I shifted over because I could see where the industry was going. So I wanted to work in this field of like stop motion and film monster effects, anything like that. But everything had changed at that point. So coming back to it 10 years after graduating and then seeing how our family all started doing art together, because stop motion is such a physical, act of like, and anyone can grab some clay and anyone can be a part of it. It was really kind of like our whole house filled up with artwork, and it was really this connective, gorgeous thing. We were all telling stories together, working towards a unified goal. Because otherwise, when I worked on making short films for myself, I was always by myself, right?
Yeah.
And then now we're all doing it together. It was really, really a special thing. It kind of blew up our whole world, and like, we were going this way, and it went, beak, here we go, whole new universe.
Well, that's one of the things that I really admire about your family, is that you were all working on this stuff together. Is this your daughter holding the Grayskull there?
Yeah,
she made that.
Yeah, amazing.
We needed a miniature on the mountain behind.
Yeah, we're like, hey, can you make us classic Grayskull? You just busted it out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
yes, you can.
That's phenomenal.
I mean, Mattel, that's the Grayskull we want as a full play set. If you do a Masterverse Grayskull, that's the one.
She painted it. She did everything. It's right there. Makes the pin in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it there?
Yeah, like just to show you the finished paint job and.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she was like, Aiden, if you just sold this on eBay or something, you get like $1 jillion.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
What an amazing rad collectible,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Really, really phenomenal.
Yeah, she made us a little miniature Snake Mountain too for
cool.
another short.
Neat.
Yeah.
That's her.
Here's another picture too.
She's mixing matching skin tones for like doing like little clay stuff.
That's a really cool tip for people who are working on stuff. If you get these like from, I think Michael sells these different tones of clay. It's so soft. You can mix the different colors together just like paint, and you can make any color clay you want to match anything.
Yeah, we use it all the time.
We use it all the time.
All the time.
So now this is where your family's located. This is your barn, your studio that we saw some images of earlier when you were doing your stunts. And so you've basically been able to carve out a little section of Oregon for yourselves to make your stuff, which is so cool.
Yeah, we've been working on this barn for a year. Like amongst making short films and everything, we've been building this space. Yeah, putting in all the equipment, getting it ready for larger productions, like
we have bigger projects in mind. We would love to do a series.
Yeah, we do all of our choreography in there. We have employees that come out. There's an apartment in there for people that want to come and help, and we have like it's basically on the property that we live, where the house has 3 stages underneath it up at the house. And then in there, we could probably fit another 15 stages if we wanted.
Wow, that's incredible. So the next thing is backlot tours. Do you have trams?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we got our ATV tram.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, man. This is just
until it's tricked out with all of our sets. It's a really fun place to play and choreograph and move around in.
Yeah, well, we do it. We shoot all of our animatics down there. We, and obviously we ride ramps and dance and gymnasticize in there and stuff like that too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I guess since Rick has asked this question, we talked a little bit about this last time you were on, but I think it's a good idea to talk a little bit about Ray Harryhausen and other artists that have been an inspiration to you too. You want to expand on that a little?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much Shelley was aware of Ray Harryhausen before kind of coming into this stop motion universe. There's Medusa right there.
Oh yeah.
She, I mean, Ray was a massive inspiration to me as an artist and a young filmmaker. I'm constantly watching his movies over and over again. Over and over again, listening, just being inspired by it. I love all the effects stuff he did was so magical. He was probably top 2 as far as inspirations for me doing this for a living, because it was such a magical time, in the 80s with practical effects where it wasn't common knowledge. There was a magazine called Fangoria, and there was a magazine called Starlog back in those days, and then eventually Cinefex, right?
Cinefantastique too.
But like you would see those occasionally. Like you would always feel a little naughty when you're looking through a Fangoria at Walden Books or something like that.
Yep.
So grotesque, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only places that I could find information with how stop motion was done or how practical effects were done. So in those few minutes, I would be in the bookstore with my parent or something to be able to get a little information, and then go to the library, and you'd see an occasional picture of King Kong on the side of the mountain, and you could tell the miniature, you're like on the Empire State Building. And then I started, as I got a little older, reading more and more into it and learning more and more. But massive, massive, massive inspiration. The stuff he still did today looks amazing. And I'm really, as a studio and as a director, I want to show what modern films can look like with modern animation and modern compositing with practical effects. So we are actively working on that here at our studio, shooting live action shorts that we're doing practical effects for to show that dream manifest, hopefully. So
there's an image here. I'm gonna take the slides off again, and I'm gonna go to this other image these 2 images that you provided me before we start talking about the sets, the dioramas. But this is oops, here we go. These 2, I believe you did some combination live action and stop animation
very excited
work.
about that combo.
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
these were all what we're calling tests to teach ourselves how it works in modern times, and then also showing what our studio can do with this type of stuff. And it's really exciting because people are responding to it, even in this kind of raw state that we've been doing it.
I've been so excited seeing things come together with the terror dog chase.
That's so good to hear, man.
It is. It's happening so slowly because it keeps getting shoved aside for the
all the paid gigs we're doing. So we're really excited. In November and December, I am going to be putting some major time into terror dogs and some of these creature features that we're doing. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. Yeah.
And it's smart to, I'm going to use this word, and I think it's fine to use, but you're appropriating familiar images or familiar characters so that calls to us, for anybody that knows Gizmo or the terror dog, it immediately we're like, oh goodness, I didn't even imagine seeing that character in that particular situation, and it activates it. It's like a double activation. This is a cool thing to see, but also cool because this familiar territory.
It's cool to hear you say that. It's not a thought out, oh, this would be a smart thing to do. It really is Justin just like, I want to play with my toys.
Yeah, it's it's chasing inspiration. It's chasing magic, calling out to all the things that I grew up loving, and I, never got to be a part of, but was so inspired by. And then the fact that it's paying off as far as like when you see Gizmo and then you see Gizmo doing something you've never seen before in stop motion, you know, it gets eyeballs on it, definitely for us as a studio, and then also for fans who just love this property like He-Man. And then also it opens doors for us doing what we want, which is our original stuff. So it's really, really been paying off for sure.
Yeah.
But most of it has definitely come from passion, just joy and inspiration of those characters. Yeah.
Just as somebody who's not an artist in any way, but who just watches this stuff, there is something special about a real object in the universe that's being animated as opposed to something that's purely digital. It feels more real.
Yeah, it's because it is, man. It's because it is. And I know, you know, it's the same reason I always use this one concept, but like if you put a CG snake in a movie and it, you know, jumps out, I'm gonna be like, whatever, it's a cartoon snake. They're gonna be fine. You know, whatever the story. But in the old days, when you saw a real snake in a movie, you're like, holy crap, that's a real snake. Like my fear factor jumps through the roof, you know, like there's an instinctual disconnect, I think. Even though the effects weren't amazing sometimes in old movies, just the fact that they were real made a difference. And I adore it. I adore it. And I do CG for a living. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm a hater, but I just appreciate those old, you know, practical effects.
That's how I am too. When I watch that stuff and I think about how it was done at that point in time, I appreciate that. That's why I'm a big Melee's fan as well.
Yeah.
I love those shorts and his magic that he does with that stuff. It's really cool. People don't understand it nowadays, but I appreciate that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's really special, man. And it was such a magical time, like with these new tools that they were creating these, you know, fantasies, illusions with, you know, it's really special.
I want to make a quick shout out to the puppet makers of those two puppets you just saw, because those are really beautiful puppets. So Gizmo was made by
a friend of ours named Michelle Mello. She's a Leica puppet person. She does lots of things, but she has her own channel. If you look her up on Instagram, Michelle Mello. And then the Terror Dog was made by a buddy of ours who has worked for us a few times. That is Eduardo Oropesa from Mexico, who works at T-Rex Productions.
Yeah, they're both beautiful, incredible. Is that the Gizmo behind you? Oh, I hope we didn't lose them.
Look, hey, there we go.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
So is that the Gizmo behind you?
Oh no, that's a collectible Gizmo, just from a statue.
Oh,
but
okay.
The real Gizmo's in my puppet drawer over there.
Nice.
We named her Annie for animation.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Well, look at this. Speaking of artistry, oh, there, Michelle Mello. Oh, yeah, Oz is so good at doing this so fast.
Thank you.
I would take me a half an hour to do that.
Oh, I love that.
Here we see the magic at work behind the scenes. And Shel, you built this forest, correct?
Yes, I did. I got so many sticks, and it's amazing how I learned that when you shine light through them, it doesn't look like that many sticks. I had to keep adding more and more sticks. And I just started putting rope to the sticks to try to make it look a little more brambly. We would have needed like 4 feet of just sticks just to get it to like fill out the way I wanted. But it's funny, you know, when I'm making a set, I make the general set, but then I'm looking at the camera, at the shots to see what shows on camera. So it doesn't always look as vibrant or interesting in the big picture, but then what I'm sort of designing to is what the camera picks up when you're down there in it, inside the world.
Per shot, she dresses every single shot. After I set up camera and characters, she comes down and she sets up every shot. We light typically per shot as well, and then we shoot. So it's always a different dressing every single camera angle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the materials you're using here. Shel, beginning from the ground up, if you don't mind. We know that the trees or sticks probably sourced from your property, but what other materials are you using?
So there's a plywood table that can be drilled through, because we told you about the tie downs for the feet. So, and then on top of that, there's often foam. And then on top, a sheet, like the big sheets you can get at Home Depot, the 4x8s. So it fits over a 4x8 piece of plywood, if that's how big the set is. And then there is, on top of that, a coating I do, which is just like glue and Fix-All and water mixed together, that when it gets hard, you can drill through it, and it won't push down with the puppet's weight, or, you know, so it doesn't, the ground's not moving.
Kind of like a shell.
Yeah, it makes a shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then paint, and then
foam, rocks, foam.
You know, grass.
Yeah.
And then there's the background. Then there's always the background, which has to look like some kind of sky. Our ceiling's been painted like 100 times, different colors, kinds of sky colors.
Yeah.
It's a different sky color.
Yeah. A lot of carving. Tubes, use tubes.
For these little huts for the battle tents, I used a big giant tube we had. And just cut those out, and then put pine needles on the tops. Those were fun to make. I try to use natural stuff as much as possible. There's so many beautiful rocks. I get really excited about different faces of the rocks or different colors. Sometimes I'll augment the rocks with some paint to make it feel a little more supernatural, maybe. Or you know, so the characters can feel like they belong there.
There's a lot. You know, Shelly, she builds a different set for every cartoon we make, you know, so she's getting thrown curveballs every week as far as, okay, we need a battlefield, you know, campsite. We need, you know,
quicksand.
Yeah, quicksand in the desert. We need, you know, like lava field outside Snake Mountain. You know, so she's pretty much using foam. Wouldn't you say that's like your major tool as far as like your core structures and stuff like that?
No, I would say more for the ground is foam. I try to use natural stuff as much as possible for my core, and then foam. But often foam will be the background, or because foam, you can carve into it, but it doesn't have as many interesting faces as like real stuff, real rocks, real trees, real.
Right, and our budgets aren't quite big enough.
Foam can get expensive.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't want to put more foam into the world if I can help it. So I try to reuse it. I have so much foam that I just save and try to reuse. I'm trying to like not add any more in.
And I think that's. I think if you're using foam, it's a good idea to just be really conscientious of that. To make sure you're not throwing stuff away. You never know if you might need that little scrap. And then, you know, with a lot of this stuff, it's, you know, some of it's reusable for other sets, I imagine, but then also they can become kind of artifacts. And if you've created a thing using a material that is pretty bad for the environment, you're making this thing to be treasured for, so that it doesn't end up in the environment, you know, so it can be in someone's home or something like that. Yeah. This is the lighting here is just phenomenal, gorgeous. Yeah.
That's the other thing, guys, is like, you know, Shel makes these awesome sets, and then once you put light on them, it just comes screaming to life. You know, everything changes to a whole nother level. Yes. So it's always so fun to see kind of that gradation from the initial idea to that final product on screen. And yeah, it's really exciting. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I
want this in my house.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Oh man, definitely. Collectors would just, I know toy collectors would just kill for a big room that they can fill, they can transform into Eternia and just have their figures on display.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
I didn't even think of that. I should have I should have shared with you guys the Snake Mountain she just made for episode 4.
Well, you know what? I've been thinking about, you know, because your background has this purple with these neon colors in it,
Yeah.
and then there's the toy frenzy, which is so bright green. That's kind of the color scheme of of Step 4. Of Stolen 4.
Yeah.
Stolen
Yes.
Part 4.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
really, I love it. I'm so excited about the color scheme. It's very different and really rich.
Yeah.
Well, as fans, we're all here fans of the Filmation show, the Filmation cartoon, and one of the things that I admire about the work that you two do is that you honor the strange colors of Eternia. You're really working hard to create a realistic or three-dimensional version of what we enjoy looking at in that cartoon. So that's awesome.
That's great.
That's cool, man. Yeah, we pull out our freaking He-Man books constantly here.
Reference all the time,
They are,
and just the characters themselves are so colorful. You know?
Oh my God, exactly. That's half the joy of it too, is you just see these insanely candy colored.
They're so fun.
You know, characters that we adore. There's something really fun about it.
Candy colored is a good way to describe it. I'm always trying to describe that, but that's kind of the best way to describe it. Yeah, candy
they're
colored.
basically Skittles, right?
You know,
yeah, exactly. And here's Justin, really proud about what's behind him there.
Yeah, that was the first shot of episode 1 on this series. Skeletor just got punched right there, and he's spinning out. And I'm like, here we go, 4 episodes, and that was the kickoff to this latest dream. You know,
I'm also counting 4 layers of jackets so that was winter.
Yeah, that was last. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. And the dungeon.
The
so prison.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where she's basically cracking the hole where Mechaneck comes slamming through when he breaks them out there.
So that's fun because Justin was mid-shot, so I had to make the hole, but I couldn't shake anything or move anything like that.
Right.
Cage couldn't move or nothing could move other than just making the hole.
So she had to cut it out so I could cut those blocks and frame by frame burst them out as the explosion happens.
In order to not make that set move, did you use like a foam cutter, like a hot wire cutter or anything like that, Shel?
No, it wasn't that delicate. I try to make everything really solid in preparation.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Hey, Eduardo, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
She
really locks everything down. Hot glues.
Behind the foam is wood. It's not just foam. So I actually had to saw it like with a Dremel.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
And you know what else she does a lot? Because in filmmaking, you know, you have to remove walls all the time. So she makes everything really modular. So we can pull off the left wall, pull off the right wall, put it on the front, whatever, depending on what shot we're shooting. So like the way she just built the interior of Snake Mountain for this 4th episode was like a Rubik's Cube of awesome. She'd just be like, click, pop, 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 and then click, click, pop, pop. Set up a new situation in like 3 seconds. I was like, wow.
I'm definitely getting
that's epic.
That.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's one of my biggest problems. I haven't gotten good at that yet. I build my things and then it's like this 4x4 foot thing that you can't separate the parts from one another, and it becomes a real challenge. But that's something I've been wanting to play with is modularity. So that's a real inspiration.
One of those things too, where that clay can come in handy
for crack seals,
for cracks,
and stuff.
for sealing cracks.
Yeah.
I use it to seal cracks all the time, and you can make it any color, like I said. So
that's amazing. That's great.
Modulator. You know what? I'm going to be releasing behind the scenes on all of these episodes very soon.
Oh, good.
And this is one of them. This is basically Mechaneck getting thrown off the ground ripper by Lady Hiss. Or Lady Sledger. Sorry, Lady Sledger. Yeah, from episode 3.
So I got to throw Justin off there.
She threw me off more than once, a few times.
That was good enough, babe. I should probably throw you off.
Let's try that again. It was fun. We love it.
This is exactly what happens to visitors of Stunt Puppet Picture Studios on the tram ride, right? They get thrown off.
True.
You know what's funny is we put our visitors to work all the time.
Good.
Be an extra in a fight scene. We need some work here. We need some extra bodies.
Can we throw you against the wall real quick?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, one of our first kind of, was he your first or second? Misha Klein,
Second.
who you have some pictures of him in there. He's our second guest animator. He plays Skeletor,
That's
the
him
guy
on
with the beanie there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He came in and did a really fun Skeletor for
You'll see
two
in
of
the
our
special
shorts.
Features, he's the embodiment.
And we're just like, okay, you're just gonna be Skeletor from now on. It was just so fun.
That's him.
Yeah, that's him there.
He's such
That's
a good
great.
Yeah, he's a professional stop motion animator too. At Bomp's Garage is his handle. He's been working in the industry for 100 years. Robot Chicken, pretty much any stop motion show.
Guy. Super talented.
He's been a part of.
Animator, director, actor.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, one of the things that I have admired about Robot Chicken is getting those vintage figures to have articulation, right?
Yeah.
By making molds and creating figures that you can manipulate rather than them being the stiff figures, but also honoring the way the figure looks.
Yeah.
It's a fine line.
That was a really fun. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, these are great pictures of you, Justin. Intense Justin.
That was Skeletor. That one's He-Man waking up. The first one's Skeletor about to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I'm about to catch a right there on screen right coming across. Yeah, there it is. Thank you.
Thanks, Oz.
Definitely.
So that's it for the pictures. Let's hear what your plans are, or what you're hoping to do in the future. Now that you've gotten a really powerful, not to use the word power, yeah, I'm doing it on purpose, powerful taste of Masters of the Universe and added that to your palette. Talk to us a little bit about what your hopes and dreams are.
We want to make a series.
Yeah, we want to make a series.
We want to take it into a series.
We really want to make it a series. And
we might start small with like 3-minute episodes kind of a thing.
Right. Right. Something manageable enough, possibly crowdfunded, something where I think we've proved enough what we can do. If we get into the community out there, we could maybe make this happen. So that's kind of like one of our dreams. We're of course going to be talking to the powers that be and see if they're interested in this. But if there was no interest for some reason, I think that's just a dream that every third comment on Instagram is make a series.
Yeah,
sure. The toys.
We're listening.
And we are 100% listening.
That's what we want to do anyway.
And we agree. We totally agree. So
if you were to do a crowdfund or a Kickstarter type of thing, I don't know, guys, do you think that the MOTU community would get behind something like that?
I
don't know.
So. Yeah.
Put hashtag we want Stunt Puppet Pictures making MOTU.
That's a nice long hashtag.
That's a huge hashtag.
I don't care how long it is. Put it in the chat, folks. I want to see how many of you agree with us.
I'm gonna do the first one here. Give me a moment. I'm gonna be quiet as I type because that's the only way I can do it.
Another request I would love to have is more children-themed Halloween-style stuff, like Paranorman and things like that.
Yeah. We definitely.
You mean as like feature film kind of stuff?
Films or series or whatever. I'm a big Halloween fan, and I just love stuff like that. And I even have stories, but I would love to see stuff like that because I remember when I took my son to see Paranorman when it came out, and I was blown away by that. And I was like, "This is fantastic! I would love to see more stuff like that." Because we don't get a lot of Halloween themed or monsters themed stuff for kids. Yeah, I think they need that.
Oh, I was so happy, you know, when I worked on Paranorman, when you get hired on a feature film, you don't always know what the film is.
Okay.
It's pretty
keep it
tight-lipped in a lot of ways, unless you happen to know someone in the business that kind of leaks it to you.
Yep.
So when I got hired at Leica on Paranorman, I had no idea what that movie was.
Wow.
So when I went to my very first dailies and I saw the first scenes, I was like, I won the jackpot.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. These designs and the scenes and the characters. I was just absolutely so excited. It was amazing to be on that. And you know what? Speaking of that, we are writing 4 series right now that are original series that we're basically hoping to pitch this coming year, and then 2 feature films. So
beautiful.
We are absolutely trying to get original stuff out there in that vein, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I love that
Paranorman
stuff.
Paranorman's a masterpiece, and yeah, I'm with Bobby on that. Like, you know, Mad Monster Party is one of my favorite stop motion animation shorts. And that's Rankin Bass, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's Rankin Bass. Yep.
Definitely more of that. The world needs more stop motion. Period. I mean, we just need more.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the stop motion from the 50s, the Hansel and Gretel?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
I just once, because I love that one as well.
Yeah.
Weird.
That weird witch.
I went through a pretty good period of time when I was first pulling the trigger on, am I really going to try stop motion from CG? Where I just went through everything. I was devouring.
Way back to the first wood carved figure.
Oh yeah, like, you know, all over the world, you know, Polish, Russian, like anywhere I could find these crazy, this wild art form. Yeah, I was deep in it. Yeah.
Jan Svenkmeyer, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. I mean, just mind blowing and serious too.
Yeah, trippy.
Yeah, that's cool. I think, like, I honestly think you two, if you get the powers that be on board with you, which I can't imagine how that wouldn't happen. The community's got your back. We all want to see more of what you can give back to the Masters of the Universe community and to the IP, and you're really the family that can do it.
Yeah. You know, we know it. We do know it. We feel really confident that it's in the right hands by people that love this universe. And you know, it's nice too, because like I said earlier, when I played with Masters of the Universe as a kid, I was taking it 100% seriously. You know what I mean? And I, as an adult, I'm like, I want to show some, what we say is badass.
Yeah, that is the word.
Is that badass?
Is it badass?
Is it badass?
Right?
I want to show badass with these toys. And you know, I still will respect, of course, some of the humorous elements, but I'm interested in taking it to that place that, you know, I think the older fans would really enjoy. So
yeah, that playtime got serious, man. And you know, it did.
Yeah.
There were some deaths on the playground when we took them out.
Yeah, shit went down. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And that's the way it should be. There should be something at stake. And even if it's consequence, even if it's a toy, and that, because that's what play is all about. And I think that gets lost in translation sometimes when someone says the word toy.
It's forgotten that through play, we're not just working out our happy thoughts, we're working out all of our thoughts. And it's part of child development to work through all of that.
Yes. And you know, you're a therapist, you know. This is really important.
It is.
Toy therapy. We all four of us, and the fifth one, Shawn, who's not here right now, we all understand the importance of that.
Yes.
Toy therapy, even.
Toy therapy. Awesome.
Little plug for Adam.
Yeah, Adam has his toy therapy here on YouTube.
Or Aaron, sorry. That was my
Aaron.
bad. I took over. I'm also trying to make a post right here, and I'm tagging Masters Mattel Creations with the hashtag We Want More Stunt Puppet Pictures MOTU.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop that
There you
right
go.
now, and I'm tagging everybody. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We want that too.
Yeah, we're really, really excited. Like I said, we turn in the episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
We turn it in tomorrow, and it's gonna. They'll from then on. We'll go to you guys, and then the public, and yeah. And,
Well,
Awesome.
Shawn, who just joined us, he has a podcast with Matt Duch called Legends of Grayskull podcast.
Awesome.
And I know that they admire what you do too. But Shawn and Adam up here he's got a blog called Battle Ram Blog. And the community has a lot of folks that can be heard in preaching your plan.
Mhm.
So we're all here to help you, and we want to see it happen. We'll help spread the word when the time comes. You just give us the green light.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I went to PowerCon, the one that I met you at.
Yeah, that's right.
And then this year we were hoping to go to the one in Ohio, but we were like,
Our son got married.
yeah, and we had two major deadlines all at the same time, so we didn't get to make it out there to that one. But we
next
definitely,
year we're gonna.
yeah. I don't think it's this year. Is it? Are they doing it?
next
Yeah.
It's not confirmed yet, right?
Right. Yeah.
not 100% confirmed.
Okay.
So there's still a chance.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
We got to
still
make it
open.
happen, folks. Spread the word. Save PowerCon.
Okay.
Yeah, save PowerCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
well-
just fighting for the dates.
Oh
I
yeah,
want it. Yeah.
that's true. It'll happen. And if you're all out there, we're all gonna try and be out there too, and hopefully we can hang out a little bit.
Cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Bobby and I are gonna drive. I'm gonna drive over there in a Studebaker.
Yep.
Pick him up in Vegas, and we're gonna drive all the way across in a Studebaker that we're hoping breaks down often, so we can have stories to tell.
Awesome.
So since you're going to be coming over from Oregon, I hope you fly. Don't do the Studebaker thing.
I don't know if I want to be stuck with Skelly all of that. We'll see.
Yeah, you don't want to. I will talk your ears off.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Yeah, but I know you two said that you had an hour, but since Shawn just joined us, Shawn, did you have any questions for Shel and Justin?
I'm just jumping in.
Okay, good.
My daughter over the last weekend, I showed her Arsenic and Old Lace for the first time,
Awesome.
and she was in a really she was in this mood, like she wanted to watch it again tonight. And I'm like, we'll watch it again tonight. And then the next thing I know, it's like 10:30, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm late. So
Good.
Family
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
Sure.
man.
Absolutely, man. That's way more important.
But yeah, a lot of I was actually listening to it before I jumped in, and yeah, the amount of work that you've done in your career already, like when I saw some of the things you worked on, I was like staggered. So I mean, Paranorman, and then I saw you were on Kubo.
Yeah.
If I read that. And that was one of those movies that when my wife and I saw the preview to it, we were like, this is art. This is not like animation anymore. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So just to know that you had a hand in some of those, plus then doing the Masters stop animation and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like your work hit me on a bunch of different levels of the things that you're capable of doing. But then once you hit Masters, you automatically make my inner 4-year-old just go,
Right.
yeah, you know,
Dude,
speaking my language.
Mine too.
Yeah.
You know, like it touches me just as much as it touches you guys. So I adore making them, working with them.
And we can
Definitely.
tell. We can tell there's a lot of
It
love
shows.
behind what you do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, Shel and Justin, it's been a huge pleasure having you two again on the show. And Shel, it's great to meet you.
It's really nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Honored.
Yeah.
Honored. And you know, we'll see you again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Episode 109 next time, right?
Right? Gotta time it out just
Every October.
there we go.
Well,
I like
if
October
in,
tradition.
that's right, next October. Hopefully before though, because if and when this thing becomes a potential reality, just I'm knocking. This is real. My desk is real wood, so I can knock on it. We want to be talking with you both, and again, and really help get the word out there for you.
Yeah, we'll let you know for sure.
We'll
for sure.
Yeah.
We basically have some writing to do this November, December, and then a few things in the early part of the year, and then it's go time. I think after that, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Thank you all very,
thank
very
you,
much.
guys.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
Yeah, great to see you again.
Thanks for all the links, Oz.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
I was just working on the last one now. Gonna get everybody to post a screenshot watching tonight's episode, even if you got to back it up a little bit, but get that message out there tonight. We want more stunt puppet pictures.
Right.
Stop motion MOTU.
That's
right. Maybe we'll get a meeting this week or with our delivery meeting or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Have a great rest of
Yeah, later.
You too. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was awesome.
Yeah,
great.
Right?
Those two are so they're so fun, and I just love their energy, and I love the passion and the work that they're putting into this. And all started just because they had the urgency to, and then it just they lucked out getting Mattel on board, and then we're the ones who get to reap the rewards of that stuff. So
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah,
very cool.
It's cool when you can follow your dreams like that. Just go for it, and not worry. And, most of us probably wouldn't do that. It's just
because we might get scared a little bit of the risk of jumping in, feet first, jumping off a cliff into that. And I think if you're willing to put in the work, anything is possible. But the key word is work. You just gotta work your butt off and do it with love. And one of the hardest things I think for all of us that make things is maintaining the love of it when you're in it and it's hard work.
Yes.
That's the real challenge, I think. I mean, Shawn, you've been busy. Do you want to talk a little bit about how busy you've been with all this stuff?
For real.
I mean, I finally got the Legends of Grayskull logo done.
Yeah.
And that was like almost a year in the making. And then a buddy of mine, he's a writer, and we both had a mutual friend who passed away due to complications with diabetes. So basically, he's been wanting to publish a book that they created together. And he was like, "Can you do the cover for me?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure." But that took me almost a year with everything going on, plus trying to get the other logo done. So that got finished, and it ironically got finished on our mutual friend's birthday on Monday.
Wow.
So he was like, "This is a sign." I'm like, I didn't even plan it that way. I sent it over to you Monday. You were cool with it Monday. Boom, we're off to the races. And then this year, because I finally got all that off of my plate, I decided I was going to do Inktober, but I want to do it on my own terms. I don't need the prompts that they always put out there. I'm like, I want to just do the Universal Monsters. I just want to have some fun with it, celebrate Halloween. And technically, I didn't do just Universal because I did Nosferatu first, which I actually want to redo that one because I didn't like it. It looked more like a crazy uncle. But I really want to do one that looks like him like this, where it's just got that shadow.
Nosferatu
like
could have been a crazy uncle first.
He basically, he's like, oh, he's that crazy uncle.
I've seen Nosferatu at Walmart walking around. You know,
I've
seen Yesferatu, but not Nosferatu.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of those probably. But yeah, I've just been having fun doing that and picking and choosing. I didn't get one done yesterday, and I don't think I'll get one done today, but I'll work on more as I have time. So it's just little fun things. Like at this point, it's what's feeding the soul more than it is worrying about commissions, worrying about money towards things, any of that. It's just I got to get back to basics and build myself up again to do something that interests me again. So that's where I am.
Yeah, well, that's a good place to be because there's a lot of promise there. As long as you put in the time. Yeah, absolutely.
For me, I stress myself out. Like, I would rather go 10 rounds with Cthulhu than jump head first into doing something that I love that way, because I literally psych myself out in my own head every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, give me something that's the craziest challenge that it doesn't involve my skills. I would probably ace that. But if you tell me to sit down and draw a comic from beginning to end, I will freeze up.
That's how powerful.
It's scary.
That's how powerful the fear is, right? The fear of the fear of failing what you set out to do.
I get that a lot too when I do my writing. You know, I get like 2 chapters done for a book, and then I'm like, I can never finish this because it'll never be good. So I quit.
We are our own worst enemies sometimes, and I think if we're willing to fight Cthulhu, we should be willing to fight for our fight for ourselves, right?
I still like the idea that Bobby could totally publish what he has already written. Release book, just title it Chapter 1, and then release the second book and title it Chapter 2, and it's just a collected anthologies of all of your Chapter 1s and Chapter 2s. And if you ever get anything back on it, go, make Chapter 3. If you don't get anything back on it, write Chapter 1 Part 2.
That's right. That's good.
Like, it'll work. You can continue the rest of your writing career as Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and just release them, as 2 different books and keep going.
That'll take forever.
It could be like
he's already psyching himself. He's already
he's gone.
Yeah.
I know a guy who publishes out of his garage. I'm just saying.
Oh,
we got to catch up with him again pretty soon. We could see how to get you in touch with the right people and publish Chapter 1, Chapter 2.
Well, I got things working too for myself privately. So
there we go. That's Bobby, what I like to hear more.
Just publish them like punk rock zines. Xerox.
No, I know. Well, like I told you what I'm planning on doing. So it'll be coming shortly. Starting next month, I believe. We'll see.
Speaking of something that is coming up, well, first of all, I'm excited to see how this pans out for you, Bobby, because it should be really, really cool. Yeah. But also, speaking of cool, Bobby, you and I chatted a little bit about this. And I wanted to make sure that Oz and Adam and Shawn are invited too. But we're thinking about doing a Mondo Trapjaw review video tomorrow night. What do you think?
Definitely.
Bobby?
I already told you I was in after I do my snipe hunt through the swamps.
That's right. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, what happened this week, Bobby?
I don't know. Can you talk about it?
Look at. Open your eyes.
Oh, Jesus. No, I'll get some good. Yeah,
he's not blushing. It's reflecting off the shirt, folks. Calm down.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the beautiful people that's part of our frenzy, the Patreons, they all chipped in and got me this Mondo Trapjaw.
Oh my goodness.
And it's beautiful. I love it.
He is
And
beautiful.
we'll talk more about it tomorrow, I guess. Like you said, we'll do a preview of it. I just wanted to show it off, a little bit. So there it is.
I just,
that is so gorgeous.
It's really a wonderful thing that this was the first. This was the first. Oh, Shawn's got his too.
All right.
This was the so Bobby's Trapjaw is the result of the first patrons getting together and getting a member of the Awesomeverse, a member of the Frenzy community,
Toy Frenzy fam,
the Toy Frenzy fam. There's so many different names. Frenzynauts,
yeah,
the Frenzied, the first gift. Collective gift. It just took forever. This happened back in March, and it finally came through.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I don't know, you guys. I don't know.
It's an amazing community.
It is. Yeah.
It blows my mind on a daily basis. First, it blows my mind on a daily basis because it is impossible for me to keep up with the dialogue that happens in the Patreon community chat. I'm like, oh, I can't even. I just chime in every once in a while. I'd have to not be working in order to keep up with all that. It's amazing. I mean, that's amazing. But then, this type of generosity is phenomenal too.
And I wanted to bring up that they give to each other as well.
Yeah, it's not just
nobody asks for anything. It's just that, that's why I always say, well, when I say, well, I would like to have this, but don't get it for me, because I don't feel like I should, get stuff from people, but
this is the hardest friggin' part right here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then on top of that, I guess it's for like my belated birthday present. They all got me this, the German version, the Blu-ray set of the Filmation, He-Man, and She-Ra cartoons.
So good.
It comes with a lot of stuff inside as well. I mean, this is a big box.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll show that off too tomorrow if you don't mind.
Of course.
Or unless you want to see it now, it's up to you.
Well, give us a glimpse now, and we'll do.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
sneak peek. Sneak peek.
Well, it comes with this book of the episodes, but I can't read it. It's all in German. But
Google Translate.
I could kind of figure it out in a way because I know the episodes, but but it's got some good photos. I know there's a big one.
Book.
It is, yeah. Here's Mechanic. Look at that.
Beautiful,
man.
Yeah. And then it's got all kinds of stuff like that in here, but it's all in German. I can't read it. They had Trapjaw in here as well. And then it comes with, I think this was, Adam, you probably would know this more than me. It comes with a comic as well. Is that a reprint of an original German comic, right? Or am I wrong?
It looks modern to me, but maybe.
Well, let me show you the inside.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's.
Oh my goodness.
Vintage. It could be like the Hapa Verlag series, like that was the German comic series. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't read this either. It's all in German, but all the art inside looks older. Back in the 80s. So I can't tell. I have to look that up. But I want to say I saw this cover before, and I want to say it's old because in this box it also comes with a poster of it as well. Let's see, here it is. Here's like the poster of the art itself.
Oh, that needs to go on the wall right behind you.
Yeah. And I might as well just show the whole thing up, and then we can save time for Mondo's.
There you go.
Trapjaw tomorrow. Well, because I got this open, I don't like to keep opening and closing it. So it also comes with the American version poster of the She-Ra Secret of Sword.
Nice.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing what they put in here. And then that's the comic. And then you got 4. Basically, they're cardboard, but they're the animation cells like reproduction animation cells.
Yes.
You got He-Man, you got Battle Cat,
Nice.
She-Ra with Swiftwind,
Yeah.
and then Skeletor.
Oh,
That's great.
so cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then, all that's left now is just the DVDs or the Blu-rays. I mean, so they come in these little boxes, and it just folds
Fantastic.
out, and it's got like He-Man.
Gorgeous.
It's just basic.
That is really, really good.
And it comes with all the episodes of Masters of the Universe and She-Ra. And then on top of that, you have extras, and there's the one with She-Ra on it.
Wow.
It has the Power of Grayskull. I believe that's a documentary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great documentary.
It's an amazing documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it has the Christmas special as well.
Nice.
And a bunch of extras on another Blu-ray. But it's got the complete Filmation series for both of them. And then inside the box, they also have that. I mean, they really did a lot for this box set, you know. Then on the back of the box, they have, you know, it's inside in it. But it's all in German. But you could take this off, and then you just got She-Ra.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I put the episode in, like the first episode, and I was watching it, and I didn't adjust the audio. And it says, you know how it says He-Man and the Master of the Universe. Well, it was all spoken in German. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't watch this.
I hope that answers Rick's question here, because he was going to ask if they were import DVDs. And
yes, that's from Germany. Yeah, because this was the box set that James Eatock worked on and others. But you do get the German version of the cartoon, just the audio, and then you can just set it to the original American version, and you get the English version of it. So
I think it's important to note that it's not DVDs either, that it's Blu-ray.
It's Blu-rays, right?
My first question to Bobby in our chat was, when he said that he put the disc in, I was like, how does the picture quality look? Because that's my biggest complaint of the DVD release, the recent DVD release. And you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I have the original releases from the BCI collection. I love those. I love the box sets. They're great. I don't have those other ones where they like the multiple disc sets in one volume. I don't know how those. I don't know how they look.
They don't.
But the Blu-ray so far, I just looked at the one episode, and it's fantastic. It's really crisp, real bright. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm really looking forward to watching them all over again. This version, it's gonna be great.
I can imagine. I remember the very first time I watched a cartoon in high definition. It was the Pink Panther, and it was at a friend's house. He had a big TV, and it was on cable or something, and it was like 2005, I think. I was just blown away, and I've always wanted to see Masters in that quality.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I was thinking about this after I looked at all that. I was like, how come we couldn't get an American version?
Right, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and this was only for Germany, and I think other places in Europe can get it too as well. But yeah, it was. I remember when it came out, but I just didn't buy it. But yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing set.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool to have. It's very cool to have, and I appreciate everybody that got that for me.
It's an amazing community.
I don't know. I can't. I'm lost for words on all this. It's just.
Well, we'll give you a chance to not have to talk, because I know how you feel. Because I'm about to ask Shawn what his opinion is of the Mondo Trapjaw.
Out of the figures I have so far, he might be my favorite. I won't be able to join tomorrow for the fact that we got Off-World tomorrow night, and somebody's got to keep Curtis in line. But but I mean, from the different accessories, he's got the clamp, or the pincers that Bobby has. There's also the gun. There's a hook. He also comes with the crossbow, like they had
Yeah.
on the cartoon. I'm trying to remember what
Fly
other ones.
swatter, I
The
believe.
fly swatter.
Oh,
And I
yeah,
think like
great.
a sword or something, like a knife, like a long. Is that right? A sword?
I'd have to look because the box is a different place from where I am. I just
Yeah,
have
me
him
too.
the way he is.
Yeah,
But like the one thing I absolutely love is back here. You have
the hooks. Yeah,
all these
Oh,
hooks
wow.
Yeah.
all over the place,
Oh.
so you can
Brilliant.
display all the accessories. They go all the way around. his
that was the
That's
first thing
incredible.
that was the first thing I noticed too. I was like, that's cool the way they
I
did that.
mean, that's awesome. And then just the detail. I mean, this is definitely more my version
Yeah.
of Trapjaw, the way I've always loved them ever since 2000X.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've always had that steampunk aesthetic being the way I like it. And then he comes with two heads even. This is the rounded off mouth.
Yep.
Then there's one that is more of a square jaw
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah, that's
But
the one
the-
I put on. Yeah,
The
square
thing that
jaw.
I love is if you have a classics version, and I think it's even the Masterverse, you could see inside he has no lower jaw. He's literally like this like nothing there. It's freaking great.
Yeah.
The amount of detail. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh, cool, Trapjaw, and then once you get him in hand, I'm like, holy crap, this is
Yeah.
He is.
And I mean, like, I said it to Matt last night when we were recording. I was like, you know, I have so many He-Mans right now. I have Anti-Eternian He-Man and two of the regular He-Mans. I'm like, it's kind of nice to finally have a different character to
Yeah.
actually go, this is another thing they've done, you know. And the only thing that makes me nervous now, these legs automatically have me going, when the heck is Manny Faces coming around the bend?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I will be in trouble
Yeah, right.
when that happens,
Yeah.
because it's like it's a three-way tie for me. He-Man, Manny Faces, and Fisto are my absolute favorites and masters.
Yeah.
So
I had a question for you, Shawn. You had, since
Yep.
you have other Mondos, are because I noticed like his hands and stuff in his head are easy to pop off and
Mhm.
exchange. Are they all like that?
Mhm.
Okay, because I you know, like the other figures like Masterverse or other whatever, you try to pop the heads and they're real tight. This stuff just
Mhm.
boom, real easy, and it's like you don't have to worry about trying to like jam it or break it or nothing.
Mm.
Yeah,
They slide
I mean,
really in and out pretty fast.
it took me a little bit, and by a little bit I mean maybe 15 to 20 seconds to remove the pincers.
Yeah,
And that was just me being gentle. I did
Right,
not want to
yeah.
bust anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, just popping on the gun was easy. With the He-Man figures I have, popping off the head is no problem. You don't have
Mhm.
any risk of like breaking anything half the time. Battle Cat, even all you got to do is just pull the head and it just comes right off
Mhm.
without too much
Wow.
trouble. But it'll stay on there
Yeah,
Cool.
pretty well without too much trouble and stuff. I mean, the way I look at them, they're figures that are meant to almost be statues. So
Yes.
Yeah.
once you get them in a pose, you're going to probably leave them in that pose. But if you want to swap out stuff, I love that they give you all these different bells and whistles you can do stuff with, so the figure has a longevity,
Mhm.
you know, and you never get sick of them that way.
Beautiful. So
yeah.
cool. Are you guys, any of you trying to get that Beast Man?
I can't get that.
Not me.
No.
I
It's a
can't afford
cool looking guy.
I got to
Four
figure it out
Horsemen
between
has-
now and next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four Horsemen has absorbed my soul.
Yeah.
And then depressed me a little bit more today. I'm like, why are you guys putting out more?
They're putting out more.
And then he got more. Ah.
It's like,
Reinforcements.
I feel like Mondo's doing the same thing. It's like one figure after another announcement.
It really
announcements
is.
coming. I mean, I think the Trapjaw is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen, as far as action figures go. The Beastman is probably the most beautiful thing I've ever seen as far as action figures go, and it's just too much. It's just too much, but it's amazing what they're doing. They're doing really phenomenal stuff. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting the Beastman, but then I decided not to. It's just like you said. It's a lot of money. It's
Yeah.
just too much.
I got, our youngest has her wisdom tooth coming out here pretty soon. I'm like, oh, I better not. Every little penny,
Right.
I think Sean's plan with the payment plan thing, like I was like really tempted, and then I just had to toughen up a little bit. But I'm gonna be. I did watch the Man-Child's review of the new Trapjaw, the Masterverse New Eternia Trapjaw, and that thing looks pretty darn amazing. I'm really stoked about that.
Is that only available online, or is that going to be in Target?
I have no idea, honestly.
All Masterverse stuff is supposed to be available at all retailers.
Okay.
However, Target seems to get them before Walmart when it comes to Masterverse.
Because I was thinking about that Trapjaw, and I might get that one, but I didn't want to order it on Big Bad Toy Store or anybody. I thought maybe if I see it in the store, I'll grab it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But if I don't, then it's not to be. That's how you want to look at it. Just like I've never seen the Skeletor from New Eternia, or not New Adventures.
Right.
Oh yeah, I see it. If you're interested, Bobby, I can snag one. They've been all over the Targets around here.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all right. Yeah.
But I think my Target's been getting a lot of Masterverse figures. And so I'm not too worried, but just like anybody, it's like you watch a great review, like Manchild goes really deep with his figures. He really explores every aspect, and that figure looks really nice. And of all the Masterverse figures coming out, that's pretty much the only one I'm super interested in.
So I did go ahead and look up the availability of that Trapjaw, the Masterverse one, to see where it's going to be at. And for the Masterverse figures that were announced, the only ones that are any kind of retail exclusive are Orko Gwildor 2-pack and Movie Evelyn are specialty retail exclusives. They never defined what specialty retail was, but I know previously it's been like online, like with the Royal Guard. They originally said that was going to be specialty exclusive and only Entertainment Earth and BBTS had it.
Maybe comic shops, or no?
Quite possibly. I mean, I don't know how they work their vendorship for those exclusive retailers, but I mean, we can always guarantee it'll probably be at Frank and Son.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wait.
Right. I could skip the Goat Boy. It's all right.
I think this is a masterpiece. This is an amazing figure. I've got the animation style head on him.
Good. That's what it should
be. He's great. So I struggle with this stuff, and I think like. Did you already show it, Emerald Knight? He said, what did he say? No, J-Mac said this. Did you already show?
Here it is.
Yeah, I do save a lot of money if I see it in stores approach. For certain things, I was really scared that I wouldn't see a slush head in the stores. And I was scared that I wouldn't see a Clawful in the stores, but Clawful's everywhere. So I guess you just pick and choose the things you want to.
Well, Masterverse always seemed to be more available, than Origins.
Yeah. So yeah, Shawn, we're gonna want to see that Beastman when you
you got to do a review.
Well, as Brad Pitt said in Ocean's 11, I'm only suicidal before breakfast, so we'll see how this pans out next week. Because I'm trying my best to rein all that stuff in too, but then I was like, maybe that could be like a birthday for me. We'll see.
There you go. Wait, when's your birthday?
Next Wednesday.
So
I figured that'd be
next
birthday coming up.
Yeah,
it's always easy to use that excuse. I'll just buy it for my birthday. Yeah, that's why.
You know,
there you go.
When a Beastman that towers over a He-Man is on a timed pre-order, and your birthday's the day before it ends, you're like, I think I will be suicidal today. It is my birthday. Why not? if I can say I made it to my birthday at least, then that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You don't say you made it to your birthday. You say, man, I've made it one more year, because it sounds way more epic, because a year is a lot longer than a day. So don't say I've made it to my birthday. Say I've made it a whole nother year.
With
Or you could just say I traveled around the sun one more time.
With
there you
go. Geek stuff that I somehow managed to get into this house, it will be amazing. I just make it to my birthday is all I'm trying to say. That's the thing. Like, I was trying so hard to be good, but when I found out that that's when the pre-order was going to be, I'm like, okay, this is a problem now. So this is probably my last hurrah going into Legions Con, and then it's like, okay, everything gets locked down after that. So
yeah, the great lockdown.
Right. I've got pre-orders for Necronominus coming.
Well, that already, I paid off mine that was through the Horseman. So good there.
I had the ones that I paid off through the Horseman. That's fine. But then when they started showing off All-Star 6, there was a couple more. I was like, I'm going to need an extra. And so I had to go to BBTS and still add it up. And I'm like, next year, of course.
That's how they get you.
If they ship it out like they did with the early release here of the retail exclusive Horseman and retail exclusive Father Christmas, I'll be like, oh no, those got to go too.
Well, I was just in the last couple of weeks, the retailer exclusive Headless Horseman, I got the invoice on that, and I talked to the dude about it. I'm like, when was it 125? I still owe it on this thing. Like, what happened? I thought I paid more than that, or is it? I only paid $15. What the hell am I thinking? It's like it's funny how, like, earlier this year, past Shawn was Mr. Oh, hey, here's money, and now end of the year Shawn is just like, what the were you thinking, man? What is wrong with you? And then I look at the dark stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's what it was. I remember. Glow in the dark Headless Horseman horse. Glow in the dark Headless Horseman. There was something to that one, I think. So
not to steer away from this, but Adam, you just had a birthday.
I did,
so tell us how your birthday was.
It was good. So first, we talked about this last week, but shout out to MOTU Origins Cork for sending these awesome Ladybird books.
Beautiful.
So I'm going to be scanning these and putting them up on my site for all to enjoy.
Beautiful.
Have you read those before?
I've just skimmed them. I haven't read through them.
Yeah,
so this will be be a good opportunity to do that. So I was going to do a Mantenna Classics, but I got my gift card was enough, so I got a MOTU Classics Cobra Khan, which is a little bit more expensive than Mantenna. So he should be here tomorrow, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, cool!
That's fantastic.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'll show him off next week.
But then it's amazing about that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, my son, he got me this stuffed Scottish Highland cow.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I love those.
Yeah, and the story was we went to the Highland Games in Chicago this summer, and we had a blast. So he remembered that he got me the Highland cow. So
beautiful.
Love that.
Yeah,
absolutely love that.
I love those cows so much. They just look like they calm me when I see them. There's something beautiful about them. I just like cows.
There's a farm near here that I took my kids to last weekend, and there's 4 of them in one of the fields. Yeah. And every year we have to go there, and they get to feed them, and my kids love them. And I just look at them like, I kind of want one of these.
Yeah.
I just want one in my yard. It just seems like such a peaceful creature. And then they started butting heads and hitting their horns together. I was like, oh, crap. I didn't know they did that. Like, I guess that guy stole the other guy's lunch or something, and they just were not having it that day. But, yeah.
Well, if you want to hug a
awesome.
Highland cow, you just got to call Adam, and
he'll
bring you the cow. Hey, Danny Phillips is here.
All right.
Bobby.
What? I said, hey, all right.
All right.
Man, somebody's here. All right.
Cool.
I didn't mean
Cool.
it that way. Jeez.
Oh man, no, I think that's just how I feel. I'm like pooped. So, hug a Highland cow. There you go. Have you guys started decorating for Halloween yet? This is the time. This is what
I'm always
happens.
decorated. So
Y'all take those down?
This weekend, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just house decor. My bad.
Yeah. Well, we started decorating, and I'm super excited.
I remember you showing me those photos. Yeah.
I get so ecstatic breaking out the stuff this time of year. When you live with other people, it's a little hard to have Halloween decorations up all the time. But
you got to have a little personal space for yourself to keep them up. But yeah, I totally get it. Like growing up as a kid, as soon as like September would hit, I'd be like, can we start bringing down the Halloween decorations? Can we start bringing down the Halloween decorations? Yeah. And my sister and I, every year we'd try to like set up something cool out front. And then after a while, we just kind of ran out of Halloween decorations because everybody in the neighborhood would steal them.
Yeah.
Like she had this old baby doll that was like kind of, or it wasn't really baby doll anymore. It was like kid size. We would put that out in the yard, but we'd dress it up with like a cloak and a mask on it and stuff like that. So it looked like this really midget, like scary monster.
This is going to be on the next Wicked Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, midgets in Halloween costumes scaring people would be perfect. But yeah, I mean,
speaking of that, I'm holding my tongue. Keep going.
No, go for it.
Go. No. I don't want to interrupt your story. Keep going.
Yeah, but then people would just, steal the stuff. So then after a while, we didn't have anything to put out anymore. But we'd still get excited. Always carved pumpkins.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. It is my favorite season, and so what you reminded me of was
just saying, it's confirmed 100%. Legends of Grayskull will have a table at Legions Con. Now back to what you're saying, Skelly.
Nice.
That's exciting,
right? That's huge.
Yeah,
Sorry,
are you gonna do an episode from the table?
I don't think we're going to do an episode from the table, but I think we're probably going to do like everybody in the same room to do Off-World maybe. Yeah. Since Jesse will be there, Curtis will be there, the Dooch and me, and I think it'll be probably like an afterwards, after we get home, we'll do a Legends of Grayskull wrap up of it maybe or something, but we'll see. I don't know. The Dooch sometimes he's a feisty one. He sometimes will just come up with ideas, and the next thing you know, I'm like, I guess I'm along for the ride.
His mind is like a machine gun of ideas. He's so good at that.
I tell him, I'm like, dude, if you were the Riddler, I would be the Batman that would literally beat the bejesus out of you for making me have to go through so many damn hoops to catch you every freaking time. So, because he just works like that, and it's like I don't work like that, but it works for him, and that's awesome. So
he would be a good Batman villain.
Yeah, he'd be the Riddler. He'd be a freaking great Riddler, and then he'd be there, and that's when you want to punch him even more.
That's true. Well, I got real excited this week, or no, not this week. Today it's felt like a week in a day. This morning, when I was having my coffee, I turned on the YouTube, and sure enough, right there at the beginning, the trailer for the new Toxic Avenger movie. And I watched the heck out of that thing. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited. It's very conscious of where it comes from.
Oh, good.
Which I was afraid of. I was afraid it would be like tongue in cheek. It is definitely tongue in cheek, but the original was tongue in cheek. But it is very conscientious of the trauma magic, and I'm really excited. I don't know what that says about me, that's the movie I'm most excited about right now, but I'm very excited about that. Go watch the trailer, people. It looks fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it looks really good. Uh, so what's
do the right thing, pal?
Do the right thing, pal. So what are you guys excited about? We kind of skipped over that. What are you excited about? I mean, we've kind of already been talking about the Mondo figures and stuff. And what are you excited about that you've seen out there this week?
Well, I was just excited for tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I've been giddy all week. Like, yes.
Me too.
Well, like I said, I'm not collecting anymore, but I think when NECA showed those kids with the old style vintage Halloween costumes,
right?
That I do love.
Ben Cooper ones.
Yeah.
How you think if you're at? So I'm with you, Bobby. It's like I just want to like chill out, and then something like that comes out, and it's like, how can I not? That's
what I said. You know, if it's something that's special that comes out, I probably put my eye on it, and that to me is something special. I actually had that skeleton costume as a kid, and my cousin had the Frankenstein one as a kid. We're the same age, and he lived right next door to me. So
I had the mummy. So it hits home seeing that.
And I'm pretty confident I had that devil mask too.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah. But I love those old costumes. I love that whole vintage Halloween decorations, all that stuff. I even have ideas for stories with stuff like that as well. And it's just I saw those and I was just like, wow, those are cool.
They're beautiful. And to answer Thanos's question, I do believe so. I watched Pixel Dan interview the NECA guy, and they talked about how the children underneath the costumes will be varied in ethnicity and gender, and so the costumes, I believe, are removable, and you can.
It looks like it. Yeah.
You can get a kid that reminds you of you, and put them in the costume that you had.
Right.
Sounds to me like that's how it's going to work. I don't know if that's how.
Yeah, they're really clothed figures, so everything should be removable.
I just like the idea that they're doing like a whole set, because again, one of the big ways that a lot of us kind of play with our toys these days is toy photography. So just having some 2-scale children that can work into some photography, especially when we're talking like straight up Halloween photography, trick or treat. Like you have kids in costumes.
Yes.
So like you can take some really neat shots with all these other action figures around, and not everybody's just got to look like whatever superhero or that's popular. Like you have legitimate kids in your in your picks. I think that's really
trick or treating at Snake Mountain.
Oh God!
See, done.
Done. My soul is sobbing with happiness right now. Another thing that I got excited about was a shout out to El Tenda, because he found the Creature from the Black Lagoon NECA figure, the colorized one.
Yeah.
And he showed a close up of that figure, and he's got an articulated mouth. I'm super stoked about that one. Yes. Wow. He's got two different heads, and one of his mouths can open and close. And I was like
he's breathing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Jeez.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna do this right now. I was planning to do a separate video of this, but I still will. But I want to just show this thing really quick. That shout out to David MOTU Origins Cork. He sent this my way. It just showed up. So let me hold on one moment.
Yeah.
Like NECA and their work with horror is really good, but I got excited about Trick or Treat Studios too.
Okay.
Like those different Goosebumps figures with the Build-A-Figure, that's really nuts. Oh, here it is. Hold on.
So,
oh man,
it's a model kit.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna look so good when you finish it.
I'm so excited.
I feel it's gonna look way better than what we see on the box.
I don't know if I'm thinking like alternate colors if it hasn't been painted yet. Like sometimes these models come painted.
Yep, that's true.
I'm thinking about. I don't know. I'm just really excited about that, David.
Cool.
David, MOTU Origins Cork, thank you so much, man.
Can you record that step by step as you build it?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I'm planning on doing like a time lapse. But maybe that would be too quick. Maybe I'll do I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna do something.
It really depends.
Yeah.
You know, see how it is in the box, but
I'm excited. I haven't even opened the box yet. I'm excited to mess around with that thing. Anyways, I keep dominating I feel like this is an exciting week for me for
that's good.
Non-MOTU stuff.
Yeah, it's Halloween season now, so all that cool stuff gets announced, and it's a nice break. Sometimes you can't just do MOTU all the time.
I agree.
Yeah,
I just random, like I saw somebody was putting out on their lawn today. It's like a 12-foot. You've seen this, like the huge skeletons people put out.
Yeah. Yep.
This was more like a ghostly ghoul with like robes and smoke coming out of it. It had like a smoke machine integrated into it. Just amazing. I was like, oh man, I would love to. I'm sure it's $1,000 or something like that. But
they did
that would be so cool to have that.
What did they call it? Like the Infernal Pumpkin, where it looked more like just like a scarecrow with a pumpkin head like the other year. Oh. I like the fact that now that they've done this huge 12-foot accomplishment, making just the skeleton, and it's sold like crazy, that they're like, okay, well, what other stuff can we make 12 feet? Yeah. And when they come around with the 12-foot Godzilla, I'm in.
I'm a huge Godzilla fan.
So. Right? Like, how much would that be? And not like, they could do multiples, non-inflatable, 12-foot, and they could totally do the different generations. Like, you start out with 1954, you can get up through Toho, and just keep really going with it, like all the different generational ones. That would be amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles of them.
I'll be the one with the son of Godzilla. Weird.
Oh God,
Godzuki. Yeah, small little 4-foot one.
This 4-foot one, little chubby guy. I'll have him on my list.
Out of all the Godzilla movies, you pick is the son of Godzilla.
That's mine. That's my Godzilla right there. He doesn't get enough love. That weirdo.
He doesn't need enough love. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I have them all on Blu-ray, every single movie.
Yeah,
good
that
stuff.
One it's goofy.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I gotta head out.
All right, Adam.
Yeah,
but it was great seeing y'all. You guys have a great rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too, man.
You
take care, brother.
Bye, Adam.
Bye.
So, Shawn, anything you're excited about this week that's been announced?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I was gearing up for my kids are home for a 4-day weekend, and I'm like, oh God, I'm trying to get that sorted. I think, like for me at least, Trapjaw reminded me of how excited I am for the Deluxe Skeletor for Mondo when that finally hits, because there will be this sense of, okay, I've gotten the big ones other than Beastman. Then I'll have Skeletor and He-Man. And then, Beastman's definitely right there, Trapjaw, and Battlecat too. So, beyond that, like, I don't know. I'm actually enjoying the whole doing the Inktober thing. So, like, trying to keep that going is a motivating thing. And this past weekend, I took my kids out to the Spirit Halloween store. And every single year I go in there, and the first thing I want to know is, do they have the Proton Pack from Ghostbusters? It's always there, and I never, ever have the funds on me to get that. And my wife flat out said to me when I got home, she's like, if you would have brought that home, you wouldn't have come through the door, right?
Oh, wow.
It's it's like $90 right there, and the kids' costumes alone are going to be over that. Mm-hmm. And I need the money towards the kids, because obviously the kids need stuff, because they're fun. But I told her, I'm like, one day when we get things completely even on everything, that is going to be part of what I bring home, and you're not going to be mad at me anymore. She goes, one day. I'm like, yeah. So I'm always excited for that. Annually, I'm excited for that, and it's always like it's starting to become the grail to me. Like, I really want that as a kid. The 8-year-old in me wants that proton pack where I can just push the button and I hear it charging up, and I'm, you know, all that. So yeah, one of these days.
It's always fun to see what's trending at Spirit. We stopped by, and like out of the weirdest, out of an odd corner of humanity, somehow people are really interested in Mars Attacks all of a sudden again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Where did this come from? It doesn't make any sense. The
No
only
idea.
thing that makes sense is how many UFOs we've been seeing lately, maybe.
That could be it. The whole government thing with it.
Yeah.
But that mechanized Martian that was standing right at the front door of Spirit Halloween when I walked in with the gun and the glowing head and everything, I was like, that's. I looked at my wife and she was like, mm-mm. She knew where my mind was going.
I have a better chance of a proton pack, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
I wish I still had my Martian when it came out with those. Did you ever see those? It was like about like this tall.
Yes. Yeah.
I used to have one of those, but I don't remember. I think it broke. I don't remember.
They're amazing. I mean, it's an amazing design. The Tim Burton movie still is one of my favorites of his.
Yep.
And
I remember watching it with my son for the first time, and I was like, and he was a little older. I think he was probably maybe 14. I was like, let's watch Mars Attacks, and he's like, okay. So he's watching. He thinks they're all nice, and then they pull out the gun for the first time, and they start shooting. His face drops. He's like, yeah, because he would start killing everybody. And he didn't think that was going to happen. It was hilarious.
Oh, it's so good. It's so smart too. The Martians are such smart asses, and that's such a brilliant take on how extraterrestrial life might be.
Yeah, I got that book too, that Mars Attacks book, like from the Topps cards. Did you ever see that?
No, I haven't seen. The collected images.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
have seen that.
It's cool. Yeah.
Oh, those early illustrations are so beautiful.
Yep.
Oz, what were you going to say? I feel like I interrupted you. You were about to say something.
No, not at all. I
don't know
just, maybe I'm shouting out that we got a like goal that we're trying to hit that I've been pushing out there. 30 likes and we're at 28, folks. Come on now. I know we get 2 more to hit that like goal. 30 likes. Come on.
There's some shy people watching, not joining the chat, and haven't clicked the like button yet because they don't know if they like us yet. Just to let you know, we're nice. We're good people. We're just enjoying ourselves. Just click the like button.
That's
right.
Like it, damn it. No.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff coming that is just that caters to people of our ilk, and it's a little terrifying because there's just such cool things. Speaking of which, like also at Spirit Halloween, they've got a bunch of Haunted Mansion things, and that's like my second favorite ride at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's your first?
Pirates.
Okay.
Yeah. Always has been. It's those two are like and then there's the third is the Matterhorn. That's how it works. But
my third is the Mr. Toad.
Oh, that's a good one too. Apparently they're working on that. I don't know. Anyways, it's not a Disneyland Disney show, but I nerd out on that stuff, and I get the craving for Disneyland, and I start watching YouTube videos. But walked into Spirit Halloween. There were a bunch of really cool like Haunted Mansion things, not based on the movie, but based on the ride. And I was just like,
yeah, I have a book about the rides from the one in Florida and the one in California. It talks about how they designed everything. And
that's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah, I love the world building aspect of Disney of Disneyland. I've never been to Disney World, or I can't really speak for that, but
Disney World's cool. Last time I was there, I think it was 1991, so it's been a while.
Hey, we just started
97.
All we had to do was start talking Disney, and we made it to 30.
Right? Disney, we hit gold.
That's right. That's right. So, any big plans for any upcoming plans for you guys? Anything exciting coming up?
Well, I think we all just said we're going to join in. Well, those of us that can make it will be joining in tomorrow night for this epic unboxing of Trapjaw. Oh, man. That's really
deep dive.
phenomenal. I'm
Trapjaw deep dive.
I will get into that. Yeah. It's awesome figure. I love it. It's amazing.
Shawn, you talked a little bit about this. What is your feeling? What are you guys all? How do you all feel about the inside of Trapjaw's mouth? Classics started it, I think, with the sort of goopy inside of the mouth,
they did.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I have sometimes it looks good, and sometimes I'm like, that's just, I don't know. Why can't it just be just like
black.
the vintage figure, just a black wall back there? There's something about it. It doesn't anatomically doesn't make much sense, but also it's like how can the poor guy breathe with all that goop back there? I just think about that.
He must snore real bad.
He just breathes through his nose. How does he even talk? He's just like talking through a sheet of meat. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. What are your feelings?
I was kind of surprised they did it in classics. That was one where it, like, for it being the line that it was, and the minute I opened them up, I'm like, oh wow, they went there. Like that shocked me. And then the one for Mondo, it actually, to me, I'm like, well, that makes sense because Mondo is very detailed.
Yeah.
And they're going to do those kind of things for these figures and add their own flair to it. But yeah, it really was like when I got the classics figure, I really was like, I don't think we're gonna have that open. I'm just gonna leave it shut.
Yep.
I know it's there.
Yeah.
But it's different because like when I was a kid, you didn't really think about that. You kind of thought maybe it was an attachment to the helmet and it just made him look menacing, but underneath he had the normal stuff. And then when they went to that whole storyline in 2000X with Skeletor punching his jaw off at one point, it's like, now you're getting into some areas where it is definitely not kid-like anymore.
Yeah. Right. It's brutal.
And it is brutal. And it's, for me as, an older fan, I'm like, it doesn't bother me to do some of that at times.
Right.
But then I also think of, but if a kid picked this up, would I want them to see that? And how do they get affected by that? So, for my mom being so worried about He-Man having a battle axe and a sword, it's like, 40 years later, I can just open Trapjaw's mouth and remember when you were worried about
Look at that, Mom.
me. Look what they're doing now.
Kenzo pointed out that the Masterverse New Eternia mouth has that problem too. And
also got
not New Eternia, that was Revelations Trap.
I think he wrote New Eternia on there, so he may have been referring to Revelation. I think he's referring to Revelation, but I did notice in Manchild's review that he does have the same sort of goopy meat mouth.
Oh, okay.
For the New Eternia one.
Oh,
I know the Revelation one's not good at all. But the everything else about the New Eternia, everything else about the New Eternia Masterverse Trapjaw design is fantastic, and I think I'm just going to paint the inside of his mouth black to sort of call less attention to it, because I agree with Kenzo, it's still problematic there. I just don't really like it that much. I'm with Shawn in that I understand that there's probably like it makes sense because he was mutilated essentially, and that's why he has all these different parts. But it's still kind of a pet peeve of mine, I think. Shawn, you said you have mixed feelings about it too. Sometimes it's like makes sense, but sometimes it's like,
it It all depends, because like I'm one of those people where I might do my own headcanon on certain things. And before I came back and was getting into collecting classics again and getting into Mondo and all that stuff, there was a part of me that kind of liked the idea that maybe Trapjaw really was just the Frankenstein's monster where Skeletor created him out of, you know, like a couple of pieces of dead soldiers after a battle and just run with it, you know, in that way. Because then, like when the Horsemen, they have the Kronov figure, and they basically said he's this unstoppable killing machine on the battlefield. He's cobbled together and dead and all this stuff. So I was kind of like, well, that's kind of what I thought of Trapjaw for the longest time. But then if you go to the mini comics, and when he first got introduced, he's this intergalactic bounty hunter.
Yeah.
So then it's like you got that, you got, you know, my headcanon, then you got Filmation where he's an inventor and he just does this, he just talks like this all the time and all. And it's like, okay, you know, that works. But
I love the Filmation Trapjaw.
So do I.
It's like out of it's like he and Skeletor are the two that you can kind of just go wherever you want with these origins in your head and run with them. Because you could do, okay, he's an evil overlord from another dimension. He's Keldor or something else even, you know, with Skeletor. Same with Trapjaw. And I honestly look at it and go, I don't really think you're wrong, whichever way you want to do it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Oz, what are your feelings about it?
I mean, you know, you kind of get to a point where you just want to keep doing, you want to see your version of it, and we've gotten so many versions, we all have a distinct at this point. So, you know, you just wait around long enough and the one that you like will come screaming at you eventually from somewhere.
Amen, brother.
You know, because they've definitely been recycling them, and it's not always a bad thing. It can get tiresome. I know several people are feeling the collector's fatigue. And I totally get that, because I think all of us are feeling a little bit. That's why we're battening down the hatches and being a little bit more critical.
Yeah. Is that what your shirt says? Collector fatigue?
You know, it says collector for life, but that might be an idea for next year's
the next Toy Frenzy t-shirt. Collector's fatigue.
You just have the guy with like the Tweety birds flying around his head on the bottom of it.
Oh, beautiful.
There we go.
But there's Zor and Screech chasing each other around his head.
Yes.
We lost Bobby. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just a Wi-Fi thing or something.
Yeah, like my take on Trapjaw. That's what it was. It was right after I started talking about Filmation Trapjaw that I noticed, there he is.
No, I'm sorry. I had to. I drank too much water.
You didn't want to take us with you on your journey.
No, I didn't. I could have flushed the toilet and you could have listened, but I didn't think you guys wanted to hear that. So.
Was that Police Academy?
Police Academy is when they took the whole porta potty.
Oh yeah, Police Academy. Yeah, that's true.
They just lifted that whole thing up and craned it into a stadium.
Mr. Wonderful saying, I have collector. Oh, let me click on it. Collector attention. Oh, sorry. Every time I collector attention disorder, I buy too many lines and can't stop. But you have a great way to display them, right?
That's right. This is why he invented Hexastack. He needed more room and a system to display everything.
Yeah, exactly. Kenzo says the Classics Cronus head was great. And I'm going to follow that up with, but the Origins Cronus head is better.
I know you like that.
I love that thing. I love it so much.
I'm not really a Cronus fan, so I don't really care for that.
I just picture him I just have him as a different character in the collection.
Yeah.
I just think he's such a dorky looking guy. I love it so much.
That face is above the definition in the dictionary for derp.
Yeah, derpy for sure.
When I saw that on the Origins figure, I was like, I got a cat that we love to make fun of and say he's a derp. No, that was derp when I saw that Origins figure.
That's part of why I love it. It's fantastic.
I was gonna say it gives it that uniqueness, that hideousness that we're kind of used to, like, you know, just straight back to like Leech and Mantenna and a lot of the Horde. It's like this figure looks so odd, but I love it. And you look at that Cronus and you're just like, man, this guy is so dumb. And then he's sitting over there on your shelf and you're like, yeah, he's still dumb. And then you look at him and like, he's kind of funny looking dumb. Let me actually display him. And then you're like, you know what? He's my kind of dumb.
I think about
he's the MOTU manatee.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's so dorky and dumb looking. You love him after a while.
I think about the way like some of these characters, the human characters would look in real life. And so when I think about Man-at-Arms, for example, the vintage Man-at-Arms face, if I saw a human being with a face like that in real life, I'd be really concerned about that person. Yeah. Same thing with Popeye. If I were to see a person with that face in real life,
I've seen a guy that looks like Popeye.
I've seen him too.
Yeah.
I have some concern there. And if I saw a Cronus in real life, I'd have some concern there too.
Well, did you ever see those renders that the people did with the Simpsons and stuff? How they look human?
I love that.
It's so odd.
God, they're terrifying.
Yeah,
the realistic Patrick and the realistic Squidward. Like I love those. There you go.
There he is. Yeah, that's Popeye. Yeah,
the inspiration.
There it is. That's it.
I don't know if that's actually. I forget. There was some sort of like controversy that he claimed to be the inspiration, but wasn't really. He just looked like him.
Oh,
but yeah, I love that picture.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's classic.
Yeah. Imagine having arms like that. Eagle. That's one of the funniest things about the Popeye movie, the Altman Popeye movie.
Yeah.
Robin Williams having arms like that, and then the arm hair is on there. Like it just it's so gross and weird.
They did such a good job at that.
Oh, it's
I don't know why it never became like a traveling musical.
Oh, it should have been. It should have. The music is perfect.
Yes, for that movie it is.
There are like only a few musicals that have perfect music, and Popeye is one of them. And if you out there haven't watched Popeye yet, you've got to watch that movie. It's remarkable.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, watch it again. You'll like it.
Well, Robin Williams doesn't like it. He says you can watch it backwards and forwards. It'll be the same movie.
I can see that. I can see that. It begins and ends in the ocean. He's absolutely right. Someone swimming out to the ocean at the end and someone coming in from the ocean at the beginning. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch it again.
Watch it backwards.
I'm gonna watch it backwards. Can
you translate that?
That was my backward. I said I'll watch it backwards and love it. That's exactly what I said.
You know, when you play Popeye backwards, it says eat your vegetables, especially spinach, do your homework.
Mm-hmm.
Follow Satan.
Brush your teeth.
I was waiting.
Satan is good. Satan is our pal.
I love the Burbs, man. That's such a classic movie. It's got the best one-liners in there, and it's
so
oh my god.
I gotta put that on the Halloween watch list.
Absolutely.
Is that what you were going to say, Shawn?
It's just about to say that. That was one that I got really excited. I got it on DVD. I showed it to my daughter, and she got into it. And then all of a sudden, at the very end, when he wants to stab Tom Hanks with the needle to kill him in the back of the ambulance. From that point, my daughter like ran from the room. I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? We're at the end of the movie, and you're leaving before you see how it works." She's like, "I don't like that. He was trying to kill him." I'm like, "Duh, he's a bad guy." No, it didn't work.
Right.
So
that's isn't that the redheaded kid from
Children of the Corn?
Yeah.
Can't
buy me love, all those 80s movies.
Great. Like goodness gracious. Perfect.
You know, we should do a retrospective night where we look back at 80s movies that had no problem with full-grown adults hurting children. Like, no, maybe that's not how I should say it. But like, you remember Christopher Lloyd kidnapping Dennis the Menace when that movie came out, and like how terrifying he looked.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just watch Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh man, I haven't seen that.
So, can I side story? If
Yes.
you've seen Cloak and Dagger, you'll appreciate this. The villain, there's a villain in Cloak and Dagger. I forget what his name was in the movie, but one of the bad guys, he hardly has any lines. I don't think he maybe even has any lines. He's doing most of the chasing. And I used to work at a video store in LA, the LA area. And in walks that actor, and I was like, I just got to tell you that you scared the you know what out of me as a kid. It was really cool to talk to him. He's like, I love it when people tell me that, is what he said.
Right.
The actor's name, I can remember the actor's name, but I can't remember the character's name. Eloy Casados.
Okay.
But yeah, like Cloak and Dagger is one of those movies too. It's like, really, and Dabney Coleman was amazing in that too.
Yeah.
Right.
9 to 5. That movie is just
so good.
I love 9 to 5.
Me too. Like,
Dragnet. He's in Dragnet too.
We got to do a second version of Toy Frenzy and call it Movie Frenzy. I don't know.
Popcorn Frenzy.
Popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Film Frenzy.
Film Frenzy. There you go.
Film you got the alliteration.
Frenzy. I like both because I just imagine us all throwing popcorn at one another.
3D. Yeah, that'd be great. We'll all be sitting there chewing on popcorn while we're talking.
Right, while we're talking.
The microphone.
This is our ASMR tracks.
Film Frenzy will be the regular show, and Popcorn Party will be the after hours.
There we go. There we go. When no, not. I was trying to think one night. We'll figure it out for a night, folks.
Yeah. Psycho is another one too. Rick is saying, I don't know if this actor is the same actor, but Psycho is a great one too.
Yes.
Mystery Frenzy Theater. That's good. I love that. I love Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways, guys, what do you say we call it?
I
think so.
Anything? Any last thoughts? Any sentiments? Well, let's just really quickly say, Shel and Justin, thank you so much for being on the show. Yep. We're great admirers of Stunt Puppet Pictures, and it was such an. If you're watching this if you're watching us talk still, or you're watching a rerun, we just want you to know that we're very, we feel very privileged to have had you on the show. We definitely. I'm hoping that I'm speaking for everybody. I feel like I am appropriately. We are all behind you 100% with whatever future Masters of the Universe projects, any future projects period that you all undertake.
Yep. I love stop motion. So.
Yeah, we hope to see more Masters, and excited for that 4th episode to drop. Yes,
that's right.
Folks watching, please hashtag this all over the interweb, and
that's right,
and put it out there.
Take a screenshot watching the episode with Justin and Shel here, and make sure that we, try to get all of us in the shot and put it out there and let them know we want more Stunt Puppet Pictures MOTU. This hashtag. Yep. And at all of us, so we can share it to our stories and share it to our channels, and tag Mattel and tag Masters in it, and let them know how much we love it.
100%. Do it now.
Come on, go do it.
I can't do the Arnold voice. I'm thinking,
come on.
If we ever get Pixel Dan on here, we got to get you guys doing the Arnold voice back and forth.
What's the matter? They got you pushing too many pencils?
Oh man.
Oh, they're talking about the glove. I don't know the Nintendo glove now.
Well, I think it's because Pop Actor brought up that the wizard is a favorite.
Oh yeah,
also.
that's a good
fun
one
movie.
too.
Little Fred
That is good. I love Fred Savage. Fred Savage is great. Fred, if you're watching, we like you, pal.
We know you are, Fred. We know you're out
Yeah.
there. You had
We know you're
He-Man on
watching.
your shelf in The Princess Bride. We know you're
That's
watching.
right.
That's right.
Mhm.
Show yourself in the chat.
No, she shows up. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
He just pops up in the back and like, did you guys send Fred Savage the StreamYard link? He just appears. Came up in the book.
I just thought of a good hashtag here.
Ooh, speaking of, now we're at 32 likes. All music fan. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. I'm making sure to help keep that count.
Thank you, All Music Fan 88. Keeping an eye out.
So be good, for goodness sake. Fred Savage is watching. Fred Savage is watching.
We know you're watching, Fred.
Somebody's watching me.
Tis the season. Fred Savage is watching. What's that other one with it takes place in Nightmare Land with the monsters.
Captain Nemo and Dreamman.
Like little monsters.
Little monsters.
Yeah,
little monsters.
Oh
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. That one too. Sorry, my brain.
Just gotta, take a leak
bedtime.
inside this apple juice.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Forget that was a thing, but yeah, they totally had to drink his own piss.
That's another movie where kids are put at risk.
Right? Like these horrible humans.
Mm-hmm. And boy was freaky as hell in that one. When they finally meet him, that was like, what the crap is happening? But the funny thing is, the big monster in that, the really tough guy monster, is actually art from the Burbs.
That's right.
So
see, it all comes around.
It all comes around.
Full circle.
And then the Burbs also connects the Ninja Turtles because Corey Feldman voiced Donatello.
That's
there you got another good one. And Lost Boys because Corey Feldman and Lost Boys.
Yes,
and
Howie
every
Mandel.
other movie Tom Hanks has ever been in for that reason. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, there you go. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. It's like 1 degree of Tom Hanks.
1 degree of Corey Feldman. 1 degree of Fred Savage.
Right?
Well, all right, guys. I think that's it. Let's close up shop. What do you say? Shall we sing a song?
So. Yeah, totally. I think how you guys feel about